Hi everyone, it's Luke here from Astro Awakening. Welcome to my YouTube channel with another energy update for the week ahead. It is Wednesday, the 14th of July. So a little bit midweek update. I've had a lot of people recently reach out to me and be like, what's going on, man? They're having all of these overwhelming emotional sort of experiences. And that's really evident and clear to see once we take a look at the current astrology. So let's bring up the chart for this moment in time. And here we can see the sun is in Cancer, and Cancer is a cardinal water sign. Cardinal water, okay, cardinal water. It's emotionally expressive. The symbolism of Cancer is the crab, right? And the crab has this hard external shell and soft, gooey inside. So what's being tested at the moment is this hard exterior of like, yes, I've got it together. I've got everything together. I'm keeping things together. I'm sort of holding it all tight. But meanwhile, we're sort of coming under this opposition to Pluto, and that sort of that level of comfort, that level of safety is being threatened. And it may appear that this threat is coming from the exterior, especially for those of you that are in Sydney, Australia. They've just announced that there is an extension to lockdown now for another 2 weeks. I think that will be now maybe 5 weeks total by the time this current extension ends. Having lived through 4 lockdowns in Melbourne through last year and this year, I feel your pain. And it's really easy at the moment to sort of look exterior to like what's going on outside of self. There's a lot of that with the polarity of an opposition. You know, you have this sort of energy that's coming up to really impose you, to really threaten this comfort and security of the sign of the home, which is Cancer, or feeling comfortable and secure. That's really being tested. And, you know, it's definitely going to bring up a lot of emotional issues that probably systemic from your early childhood. So the inner child wound, you know, Cancer being the sign ruled by the moon. So the experiences with our, excuse me, how rude. The experiences that we've had in our early childhood and upbringing, our nurturing and the environment that we were raised in, can have an impact on us, especially our emotional reactions. If you look in a natal chart at someone's moon, you can have a look at a lot of their early life experiences, how they were nurtured, and what are their basic comfort and safety needs. They are being challenged at the moment. So it's creating a lot of emotional instability. We've got Venus and Mars in a conjunction. So love and desire unite to create a lot of passion. But for those that are feeling this comfort, this place of comfort and security being threatened, this can start to activate a lot of energy of anger, you know, a lot of anger that can come up from within inside, anger and insecurity, you know, just where you aren't able to continue to do those things that you're passionate about. And Pluto and Mars, who's in conjunction with Venus, both deal in anger, you know, those deeper sort of energies that can be sometimes repressed, because the crab, the Cancer, we're trying to keep it together. We're trying to keep this outside appearance of how things are. And, you know, we can tend to repress a lot of that. These external triggers at the moment that we might be feeling, they could be coming from your own family. They could be coming from your close relationships. They could be coming from the external source, like those in power or authority or have that over you. They may be operating in the guise of having your best interest at heart, but using fear to continue to maintain some level of control or authority over you, is probably getting to the point now where you're starting to get, you know, novid fatigued. And that's happening a lot. It happened in Victoria last year, a lot of emotional fatigue of just like, when is this going to let up? When is this going to end? When is this? And the answer to that, the short answer is it's not. It's not. So it's about now finding new ways to navigate these new circumstances. Instead of retreating, like the crab when it's threatened retreats back into its shell or into its little hideaway, instead of retreating or going about things in a non-direct way, which is very Cancerian, it's time to transform that. How do we do that through these times that are very challenging? There are things that are changing very quickly. There are circumstances beyond our control that are causing this emotional volatility. So how do we navigate that? Well, over the next couple of days, the sun will make a trine to Neptune. And this can go two ways, because a trine is an aspect of release. There is no blockages of the energy from Neptune in Pisces through to the sun in Cancer. The trine represents a removal of all obstacles and a free flow of energy. You have water here and water here. And when they line up at the similar degree, and over the next couple of days that will happen, there's a free flow of that energy. So they can be really beneficial and empowering, but also they can increase the expression of one of the particular planets. And in this case, Neptune retrograde in Pisces, it's, I want out. I want out of this transformative reality. I want out of this loss of control. I want out of this pressure that I'm feeling. I want to escape. And I may turn to addictive substances or addictive tendencies to pull me out of this reality that I'm in, because I'm emotionally vulnerable or threatened. And rather than realize that this is just another opportunity to alter our behavior and change our course, we may retreat and come under some sort of emotional sort of pressure, which drives this desire to win out. So in the negative side of expression, a lot of the desire to escape or to avoid or to just be free can mean that we turn to addictive type substances to do so. There may be drugs, alcohol, sugar, gambling, anything that sort of takes us out of that, whatever it is, the vice, right? It's the vice that's sort of the Achilles heel. However, if we're working on a more transcendental, right, and Neptune being the planet of transcendental energy, right, so to transcend Neptune, it's the transformation of upwards and outwards into the sea of oneness rather than down and within, which is the Pluto sort of mode of operation. So what are the types of things that we can do over the next few days to help us navigate and to confront this emotional volatility that we're feeling? Well, it's all about vision. With both Jupiter and Neptune retrograde in Pisces, it's the dream, right? And no matter what's going on in the external world, you can keep the dream alive. Yes, there may be, you know, some limitations to your short-term goals when it comes to realizing that dream or that fantasy or that idealization that, you know, where am I heading? However, in these sort of tumultuous, turbulent times, it's the dream that needs to stay alive, because no matter what's happening in the external world, no matter what you're confronted with, no matter what sort of restriction or limitation is imposed upon you or us as a collective through this sort of tyrannical authority, that cannot squash the dream. That is our ability. You know, I always think about Nelson Mandela sitting in a prison cell for, 30 or 40 years. And how does someone endure and overcome that sort of restricted, oppressive control and restriction within their life? Well, it's got to be done through the imagination. And the imagination is the gateway to sort of the dream, right? And it's keeping the dream alive. These times shall pass. We shall endure and overcome. Do not succumb at the moment to, you know, the emotional fatigue and, oh, well, I can't do it anymore. And just here, take my freedom. Take my freedom of choice when it comes to my sovereign health. Take it away here. Vaccinate me, lock me down, keep me safe. Do not succumb to that. This is the pressure that is required for the soul to refine itself, to find that alchemical gold within, right? And it's the purification and purging of all of the impurities and the shit that's being stripped away. With all of this that's going on since the beginning of this nova in 2020, there is opportunity, and the opportunity is for transformation, for transmutation, for growth, to overcome, to endure, to not buy into it, not to submit to it. It's to endure these times. I'd like to be the bringer of, like, you know, optimistic, like, yay, we can do this and it's going to get better, but it's probably not going to get better in the terms of what it's currently feeling for you. So it's more important now to double down, especially with this access to Neptunian energy, to double down on your meditation, your spiritual practice, your disconnection and use disconnection or isolation or introspection or meditation or journaling. Use those as the vice or the outlet for this crazy fucking world that we find ourselves in at the moment. This crazy world where it's just getting crazier. And just when you think, it's sort of like they're holding you at this hostage type crisis point where you don't know whether you're coming or going, and this, forcing the collective to be begging, please make it stop. Please make it stop. And here they come with the old Hegelian dialectic of problem, reaction, solution, right? The problem is, novid. The reaction is, lockdown, lockdown. The solution is, here, take this. And not until everyone takes this will we be free of it. It's really sinister, the process. But it is a alchemical process, and it's transforming. Many will succumb. That's on you. That's your personal sort of contract with your own soul and what you are here to do in the physical world. That's a personal choice. I'm not going to get involved in that. But if you're looking for ways to endure and to overcome, turn within. Because when you look out at the moment, you're going to see this crisis, this oppressive authority. You're going to see more of it. And when we focus our energy on those things, we're going to amplify them within our life. So pull within now. Over the next few days, the moon's going to move out of Virgo, and Virgo is very analytical. We're sort of like, and it's, the negative aspect of Virgo can be worry. Worry, like if we're emotionally unstable with Cancer energy, we activate this sort of worry inside because we're focused on all of the negative things, all of the critical things, all the fault finding, all of that waste, useless stuff. But we focus our energy on there and we get an amplification of that. And that our reality reinforces the reason why we should be worrying. And then it's this cycle that continues. Rather, the Virgo energy is to focus on the usefulness, to get organized in your life, to create some clarity, to use your analytical brain to say, realistically, practically, what can I do? I cannot change the outer world. I cannot change those within it, but I can change myself. And that process of self-refinement is good Virgo energy. The moon, when it moves out of Virgo, is going to move into Libra, and it's going to start to apply to a square. Let's have a look at that. Let's have a look at that over the next day. So here it is in a couple of days from now. We have it on Friday moving into Libra. The sun here is trining Neptune on that day, as you can see here. So Friday, the day of Venus, it's the meditation of love, right? Transcendental love with that passion ignited in there. It's that passionate of like trying to find that self, Leo, love, ignite that. No one can take that from you. When you realize that's what you're here to do as a soul, is to love thyself, and by expression, everything within this world outside of you, because it's just a reflection of you, right? It's just igniting that within, whatever you need to do to activate that within you. So Friday, when the moon moves into Libra, it'll start to apply to a square to the Sun and Pluto opposition. And as we go into Saturday, you'll notice here the Sun moving into a direct opposition as the moon. Let's go through to the hours. The moon starts to, you watch the moon alone here at 23 degrees. We want to get to the moon at about 24 degrees. Here it is, 24 degrees. The sun has now moved into the 25th degree. Pluto's at 25 degrees. The moon's at 24 degrees. We go another hour. There it is. We have the moon at 25, the sun at 25, Pluto at 25. Around 8 o'clock at night, Saturday, Australian Eastern Standard Time, there's this T-square. You can see that aspect there. It's a very intense one. Short-lived because we're dealing with the moon, and the moon will pass quite quickly. It moves swiftly through the zodiac, only spending a few hours in exact aspect, right? But this is a culminating point and the fact that it's happening at the same time as the Sun-Pluto opposition. If you aren't able to really disconnect, to reflect, to turn in, to internalize, to meditate, to find that self-love, to keep the dream alive, to inspire and aspire yourself through these turbulent times, this could be a real turning point, right? This could be a real, like, the realization or the actual material manifestation of just what's being suppressed under the surface here. So be kind to yourself and others through this process, because it's going to be a real dramatic sort of process. So again, I always say, watch where you're putting your attention. because where attention goes, energy flows, right? And you have to be really mindful of those things that are causing negative emotional reactions within you. If they're things that are outside of you and things that you're putting your attention in, whether it's gossip, whether it's negative family perspective, and they're all in fear and they're all like, why aren't you doing what we're doing? This is the only way, we're all in this together. Or whether it's the media in general or the government, and it's just this continual psychological abuse. No other way to describe it. The government and the media at the moment are continuing psychological abuse upon the collective. And once you know a thing or two about reality and how it works in the mind and how they do these things, it's evil and sinister and dark. But that's what we're dealing with here with the government, the governing of the mind, the mental. The government, it's not the people within it. They're under mind control themselves. But the entity itself is evil. And the reason why it is evil is because it is lifeless. It has no life. Government hasn't, there's no life behind it. The people may have life that are within it, but under mind control, they lose connection to their divinity and their soul, right? This is a lifeless entity that's doing this. Don't give it your attention. Don't give, it feeds. Whether the attention is positive and yay, government's going to save me, or it's negative and hell to the government, it's repressive, it's attention. And this system, this beast, this entity, this feeds off our attention, our energy. Don't give it to it. Especially over this coming week. Don't give it to it. This is a time for personal transformation. This can be a really empowering point. This could be a break point in your own personal life where you go, enough's enough. What do I need to do to step up and to transform? Well, I need to turn within. Everything is within. It's not outside of self. The outside world changes when the inside world changes. As above, so below, as within, so without. This might be the catalyst for great personal change rather than cataclysmic crisis, right? Either way, this energy is going to play out. As a conscious person, more self-aware, you get to decide the way in which you respond to this internal welling of this emotional energy and this external reality we find ourselves in. So thanks for supporting the work that I do. If you like this video, please subscribe, hit the like button so I know and I can make more of these. Comment and your own personal stuff. I read every comment. I'm happy to respond. If you want to get a personal birth chart reading to help navigate these times and the times that are coming for us, which is an intensification of this, wait till we get to Scorpio season this year. And there's going to be more on that as I progress along this journey. So really, thank you, YouTube family, soul family, and I'll see you guys real soon. Peace. Stop the recording, Luke. Stop.